Hey, welcome back. So we are learning Angular, where you can go from a zero to a hero. So let's see how you can improve your Angular skills today. In our last session, we had created a website and it had these two components, but our navigation doesn't work. So we have a problem here. And what we want to be able to do is when we click on Learn Maths, we just see Maths Works. When you click on Home, we just see the zero to hero Angular symbol, nice and big and bold, and not Maths Works. And how we actually achieve that is through the routing that Angular provides us. So whenever this URL is updated, for instance, Learn Maths, then we actually just want to see Learn Maths. And when we actually go to just the default page, that's all we want to see, this top part, no Learn Maths. And that's very easy to accomplish with Angular. What we'll first need to do is create a module. Now this module is going to be our app routing module. So as always, we start with ng generate module. So when we wanted a component, we put component. This time it's a module, and the name of our module. We are going to call this app routing. Next, we actually want this app routing module to sit within this app folder. So we're going to put -- flat, and we also want it to be included in this app module. So we are going to say module equals app, which will just include it into that for us. So it's one less thing we need to do. Let's run that, and we will have two files create. So our app routing module spec.ts, so that's for testing, and then our app routing module.ts, which we now need to update. So here are the two files. If we go into our app routing module.ts, so there's some changes that we actually need to make to this. First of all, this common module, we actually don't need the common module, but we do require the router module, and this is going to come from our router. We also require the routes module. So here we can say, yes, we want to import this routing module, and we want this for root and routes. So let's just put it all on one line. And this declarations we don't need, we can change that to be our exports. And this router module is what we want to export. And we're almost there. So the last thing that we need to cater for is this error that we're getting for routes. And before this ng module, what we actually need to do is create a constant of routes. And this route is going to be taken from this route, and it is equal to an array. Now this array is an array, so a list of objects, and each object is going to be the path and the component that we want whenever we go to that path. So first path is just going to be blank, and the component that we want is going to be our home component. So as I clicked enter, you can actually notice it's imported that home component. And if nothing else, when we have no other component, it's just going to show us this. What we also want to cater for is our maths component. So we're going to copy this line, paste it in below, and we are going to say learn maths. And at this point, we want our maths component to show. So here, that's also imported. So that's excellent. Now, let's take a look at our web page. Well, doesn't look like it's still working. So there is actually something else that we need to do. We've catered for this new logic, but we haven't actually specified that we now want this router to actually show and where it should show in our app. So we need to go back to our app component.html, and these two references we no longer need because we now have our router, which is going to display in its place. So this is called a router outlet. And just by adding the single line of code, it means every route, whenever we go to a URL, this router outlet is going to update and it would show the relevant component. So it either showed the Maths component or the home component based on the URL that we're going to. So now we no longer see the Learn Maths at the bottom, but these buttons don't work. So there's one more step that we are going to need to do. But first, let's see that Learn Maths works. Okay, so Maths works. Excellent. So we know that the URL works, but we don't want to have to type it in every single time. We want these buttons to work. So what do we need to update? Yes, that's correct. We need to update our toolbar component. So here we have these hrefs, and Angular doesn't use hrefs. It uses a router link. So wherever we have href, we can just update it to be a router link. If we want the home URL, we just put a backslash, and where we want Learn Maths, we simply type in Learn Maths. Now please be careful not to put a backslash here, because that will cause an error. And now when we update, we can go to Learn Maths, we can go back to our home page. And there you have it, guys. Just like that, you go from a zero to a hero. Hope you enjoyed the series, guys. Any questions, comments, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this tutorial, please smash that like button. If you don't like it, please let me know as well. Tell me, how can I improve? How can I provide you better content, more useful for what you're learning? Hope you enjoyed the series, guys. See you soon.